Hey, Team Impact, good morning. Going to be getting after it here today. We're moving on to a new unit. So we had a busy morning here. We warmed up with some fractions and decimals. And then we finished our test. We have this. I also have a booklet in the for additional practice in Schoology. So let's get after this thing. Unit 5. All right, ratios and percents. So let's flip the page and take a peek at this thing. It's going to be a good unit. It's a pretty thick packet. Here we go. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to worry about this top piece. Okay. I want to get down into the meat of this thing. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is going off of ratios into rates. And then we're going to take it to a unit rate. And a unit rate is essentially when you put the fraction over 1. And you'll see what I mean. A rate is a ratio that describes the comparison by division of two quantities with different units. Total miles per total hours. Total meters per total seconds. The unit rate describes the amount per 1, or the rate when the denominator is 1. And the denominator is the bottom number of a fraction. So essentially what that is, if I can type 5 words in 3 minutes, right? How many words can I type in 1 minute? So we're going to divide the top number by the bottom number, right? And essentially, all you're going to do is take 5, and divide it by 3, and you get, 1 6/10 repeating. So you can have a fraction or a decimal up there, all right? You can type 1 6/10 words repeating per minute. This is unit rate, so it is. Let's go. Tasha earns $162 in 12 hours, right? The rate is money always on the top, $162, 12 hours. What are they doing in 1 hour? I like to set it up that way, okay? So we're going to take the top number and divide it by the bottom number, and we're going to get our unit rate, all right? And that is per unit, per hour in this case. 162 divided by 12 is 13.5. So you're going to get $13.50 per hour. That's what you're making at your hourly rate. If you work for 12 hours, you'll make $162. Right? And again, I stress, always try to put money on the top. An electric scooter will travel 15 miles on 2 hours of charge. 15 miles, 2 hours. What are we going to go in 1 hour? Well, a lot of times we can look at this and just kind of do it mentally. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5 miles, all right, per hour. And this is our unit rate. I just didn't write it down there, and so is that. So finding unit rate's pretty easy, but it solves a lot of problems, right? It solves a lot of problems. Let's flip it over. Sam can do 120 jumping jacks in 2 minutes. So our rate is 120 jumping jacks in 2 minutes. What can he do in 1 minute? So that's our unit rate because it's over 1. 120 divided by 2 is 60 jumping jacks per minute. Okay? A large plane cruises at 530 miles, all right, per hour, okay, per hour. Well, that's already in a unit rate, so I'm just going to rewrite that, right? Oops. 530 miles per hour. That's the unit rate because it's over 1. They already did that for us. Pretty easy. Letter C. A babysitter gets $60 for 4 hours. Money always on the top. $60 4 hours. What's it doing in 1 hour? So what is 60 divided by 4? All right, and if you didn't know, grab your calculator. And we have 60 and we divide it by 4 and we get 15. So it's $15 per hour. That's a pretty good rate, isn't it? Right? It's a pretty good unit rate. So if you're making $15 an hour and you work 4 hours, you're going to make $60. Makes sense, doesn't it? Number 4. All right, let's take a peek at this thing. Use the information about the various methods of transportation to answer the questions below. Okay, and you can pause the video if you want and do it on your own. All right, how many miles can the plane travel in 1 hour? All right, the plane. So I'm just going to put equal, and I'm going to put 1 hour there. And I'm going to take that and divide it by 4, okay? And when I do, I guess I should leave my calculator on. I like to use the phone because you can see it a little bit better. 2320 divided by 4 is 580 miles per hour. So how can it, 580 miles. How many miles can a bicyclist travel in 1 hour? So again, let's get that unit rate. 1 hour. 153 divided by 9 is 17. So it's 17 miles. Make sure you label. In a 1 hour period, how much further can the boat travel than the bike? Well, we already have this. Let's figure out what this is doing in 1 hour. Okay, so let's take 408 and divide it by 6, and we get 68. So it's 68 miles per hour. Right, so now we take 68 and we subtract 17 from it because we wanted the boat and the bike. All right, so I just hit minus 17, and we end up with 51, all right, miles. Okay. All right. Pretty easy stuff, just setting it up for the rest of the units. Brody and Cam earn extra money by mowing lawns. Brody earns $90 in 6 hours. Cam earns $52, money on the top, in 4 hours. Who earns more money per hour? Okay, well, let's just get a unit rate. 1 hour, 1 hour, right? So if we take 90 and divide it by 6, we get 15, right? So they're making $15 an hour. Let's take 52 and divide it by 4, and we get $13 per hour, right? So who earns more money? Well, certainly Brody. Brody, 15 to 13. Number 6. Using the table below, determine the unit rate of the pies per minute at a pie eating contest. Okay. Pies per minute. So how many pies can I eat per minute? All right. Well, I've got to get this down to 1. I know that to get it per minute. So what I'm going to do is just write a 1 here and put a line. All right, I divided this by 4. What I'm going to do is take 18 and I'm going to divide it by 4. Now, when I do this, all right, it's a little backwards, but if we take 18 and divide it by 4, we end up with 4.5. All right, so we're eating 4.5 pies per minute, right? And I could write that like that, 4.5 pies per 1 minute, and I could just flip it around. And that's the unit rate. Even though it was on the top, I just flipped it and kept it consistent. Okay? All right, little peek here at the next page. Your homework is right here. You can take a look at that. You can scale it up, get your unit rates up to 5 minutes and so on. This is due for Thursday. Have a good day, guys.